So your garden begins in the months of winter. While your garden sits all nestled, covered with a nice blanket of snow and cold temperatures. And while it's nice for you to rest during this time, have a cup of coffee, stay indoors, and learn. We all want to have more knowledge for that greener thumb, so join me as I explain some quick ideas of how you can spend your winter days. I always say the Christmas time for me is when I receive my Baker Creek catalog in the mail. Baker Creek is one of those amazing companies who really dives into very unique vegetables and flowers and herbs. So their catalog is a wealth of knowledge. If you get a chance, you can go to their website and order a catalog. Another seed catalog that I highly recommend is Botanical Interest. You can go to their website, request a paper copy, or they have a version you can download. Their catalog is jam-packed full of tips, recipes, and happy stories. One of my favorite parts of their catalog is they actually give you an indoor sewing guide and also an outdoor sewing guide. Botanical Interest really takes time with their catalog. It's very informative and definitely a highly recommended seed catalog. Magazines are another way to gain information. My father passes this magazine down to me, Birds and Blooms. It's a great magazine. It's filled with so many articles, beautiful pictures, and insightful knowledge. It goes into different items like house plants, terrariums, how to harvest vegetables year-round. It really has a great guide and is very useful information. So if someone in your family gets magazine subscriptions, ask them, tell them you're interested. Usually they're just going to throw them away, so why not turn them over to you so that you can review them and gain some knowledge. So I'm asked every year, what does Mom want for Christmas? And my answer always is absolutely nothing. My daughter this year knew exactly what to get Mom, even though I told her not to. So she got me this book, Edible Wild Plants, the North American Field Guide. Now, this is a great read. I love that it gives you full-colored photographs in there, descriptions of the plants. But if you are going to forage for items, please, please, please look into this, research it very well, and make smart decisions. I would never recommend anyone going and eating plants in the wild without seeking out some sort of information and make sure that you're really have learned a lot about this subject. This book gives you the common names, scientific names, habitats, and characteristics. So it gives you the poisonous look-alike species to avoid, tips on how to harvest and prepare your edible plants. It is a great read. How to Grow Your Own Medicine, Herbal Remedies. This book actually shows you or teaches you how to go from your garden to your medicine cabinet, how to grow and use healing herbs for natural health solutions. This book is filled with many recipes and a great deal of information. I believe it's a very good read, and to help have treatments on hand for common issues like coughing, treatments like that. And I believe a book like this is a great addition to your personal library. All My Homestead Beep. This book is a perfect addition to all of your homestead needs. It is a great way to keep track of so many items, so many interests, your herbs, your preserves, just a whole bunch of items. You can track and schedule things and just keep logs for your seeds and your seedlings. And that ends up being a great idea because later down the road, you might want to know little hints of advice, and you wrote them down for yourself for the following year. So it's a nice little book that you can refer back to and write down your thoughts about how the season has went. I just think this was a great find. Pantry on the Homestead. So this book here is, it has so many ideas of how to preserve foods, what to make, instructions of how to do simple things like make sour cream or your own mayonnaise. Just a wealth of knowledge here. You can make cheese balls and gravies and your own butter. So it has a lot of wonderful ideas, wonderful recipes, cranberry juice, this book I really appreciated. It has a way to make noodles and such. This is a great book, whether you own a homestead or not, to place it in with your recipe books and have it on hand. Perfect addition. These books here actually come from a discount store. So my nearby Ollie's actually has books that are very reasonable. Look into your bookstores for clearance books or check out your discount stores. Homegrown Gardening. Best perennials for sun and shade. Easy plants for more beautiful gardens. Being a quick reference guide to perennials for gardeners with little experience and time, this has so many photos in it, in-depth photos and articles, and I definitely believe this would be a great addition to your personal library so that you can learn how to grow different kinds of plants, where they belong in the garden, and it's just accompanied by a bunch of information, and I believe that you will enjoy this book. It takes the guesswork out of gardening, but it goes in from controlling pesky bugs to deadheading plants and taking root cuttings. The Healthy Garden, Simple Steps for a Greener World. Oh, just to make your garden beautiful is one of my must-haves. I love to see flowers mixed in with vegetables and just combine all those things together. Healthy Garden combines practical advice for starting and maintaining a garden with a rare view into how home gardening builds resilience, happiness, and community. And I firmly believe that gardening definitely builds community. The Art and Practice of Spiritual Herbalism. Transform, heal, and remember with power of plants and ancestral medicine. This book says plants could be partnered to alleviate physical symptoms or heal emotional and spiritual imbalances. This guide is a tool for working through symptoms of the body's diseases and underlying emotional and spiritual issues. It has many photos and illustrations and lots of information, and I firmly also believe that gardening and being around plants and nature definitely heals. If you're looking for good books to read about gardening, Don't forget yard sales and thrifting. I found this great book about trees at the local thrift store, and it's a wealth of knowledge as far as tree identification, shapes, sizes, and colors of leaves, tree nuts, trees in different seasons, pollination. It's really got a ton of items that you can look at and review and just familiarize yourself with. This book is perfect for budding naturalists. We're all learning, and it's great to have the simple knowledge of tree identification, especially if you're gardening. There's certain trees that you can't grow near or under the cover of. And one of my last ideas of how to get knowledge about gardening is the seed packets itself. So no matter if you get your seeds from the dollar store or anywhere else, they all come with an expiration date, instructions, and just a lot of information on there about how to grow, where to grow, how deep to sow the seed, how far spacing needs to be between each plant, and when to start the plant. So it's nice to read them ahead of time. Some plants and some seeds need cold stratification, which is basically just chilling the plant seed in order to break that seed shell down a little bit before putting that into the ground. But reading the backs of these seed packets just gives you so much to learn, so many things to take in and consider. And My Gardener is one of those companies that I will highly recommend. Luke is filled with so much information, and I enjoy watching his videos. Their seeds are so reasonable. These packets are gorgeous. I just love M.I. Gardener's flower packets. I liked them so much that I saved them for my garden shed. I want to put them in frames. I hope I was able to give you a couple ideas of where to get some knowledge of gardening and make your thumb a little bit greener. Please give me a thumbs up, like, share, comment, or even subscribe. Please stay safe, strong, happy, healthy, but most of all, stay rooted. With love, Kristina.